Hi class, welcome today to our lesson. We will be focusing on lesson 45 and 46, and this lesson can be found in your CEFR Form 3 Close-Up textbook from page 62 to 63. Alright, so we are still in our same topic, a place to call home. Alright, I hope all of you all are ready. Alright, can you all see this picture? Okay, I'm sure you all are able to see this, and there are people and they are working on something. Alright, if you see closely, you will see them building a house or a building. Okay, so when you build a house or a building, you will need lots of tools as well as things to do so. Okay, so when we look at this picture, we can actually see they use bricks, right? And they have here looks like a hammer. Okay, there's wood. Okay, so we need a lot of things in order to build a house or a building. Alright class, in order to build a building or a house, we will need a lot of things. Alright, so let's just try to label these pictures. Okay, what is this? Okay, yes, they are bricks. Okay, let's look at the second one. Okay, and these are, okay, it's actually steel. Alright, let's look at the next one. Okay, and this is concrete. Okay, let's look at the next picture. Okay, and this is called straw. Next one, and this is netting. And the last picture, and this is called bamboo. Right? So different buildings are built differently using different items. So probably like in certain countries they use different materials to make houses. All right. Alright class, now we are going to listen to an audio and you will hear 5 different sentences or statements, and you are going to choose the answers based on the audio that you are going to listen. Alright, so let's listen to the audio and you choose the answers.
Listening, Unit 5, page 62b.
1. Many buildings came down, crushing and trapping people. 2. One technique is to reinforce concrete with steel. 3. Buildings made of light materials are less likely to come down in an earthquake. 4. Some bricks are cheap and walls made from them crack and collapse very easily. 5. Cheaper materials are better than nothing for poorer countries that can't afford anything else.
Okay, alright class, I guess you have just listened to the 5 statements. Okay, let's do this together. Many buildings came down, crushing and trapping people. So what does this mean? Okay, A, people were pushed and fell out of buildings. B, things fell on top of people and they couldn't escape. Alright, let's check the answer. Yes, the answer is B. Things fell on top of people and they couldn't escape. Okay, let's look at number 2. One technique is to reinforce concrete with steel. So what is the answer? A, make stronger. B, make longer. And the answer is, yes, make stronger. Alright, so let's look at number 3. Buildings made of light materials are less likely to come down in an earthquake. So, what is the answer? A, not as possible, and B is impossible. Okay, let's check our answer. Okay, the answer is not as possible. Okay, number 4. Some bricks are cheap and walls made from them crack and collapse very easily. Okay, let's check the answer. The answer is break a bit and fall to pieces. Okay, let's look at number 5. Cheaper materials are better than nothing for poorer countries that can't afford anything else. Right? The options given: to not have enough money to pay for something, B, to not be able to use something. Okay, let's check their answers. Okay, the answer is A, to not have enough money to pay for something. Alright, so let's look at our next exercise.
Listening, Unit 5.
Right, so this one will be your exam task. Right, so this exercise can be found in your close-up textbook on page 62. Alright, you will hear some students interviewing engineer Robert Weston. For questions 1 to 6, circle the best answers, A, B or C. Alright, so before we listen to the audio, I'm going to read out for you so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, Robert is interested in what? A, recording the numbers of deaths in earthquakes. B, how to rescue people from collapsed buildings. C, how to construct buildings that won't fall down. And number 2, modern building methods. A, don't use steel or concrete. Offer cheap solutions. Are too expensive for poor countries. And number 3, roofs are stronger when they are made from A, concrete, B, metal, and C, straw. And number 4, plastic netting is used to A, hold roofs in place, B, hold walls together, C, protect houses from underneath. And number 5, what are engineers testing in Indonesia? Okay, A, how to build with bamboo instead of metal, how to protect houses from below the structure, and C, how to construct walls with sand. Alright, and then number 6, Robert thinks that using cheap or local materials is A, is completely useless, B, is better than using expensive materials, C, may not produce the best results. Alright, so now we are going to listen to an audio and then you choose the correct answers.
Listening, Unit 5, page 62E.
You will hear some students interviewing engineer Robert Weston. For questions 1 to 6, choose the best answer, A, B or C. Now, as you know, we're doing a project on earthquakes and buildings, and we're lucky to have a visit today from Robert Weston, who's an engineer and an expert on this subject. He's here to tell us about the latest information on designing buildings and how we can protect buildings from these disasters. Please welcome Robert.
Thanks very much. I'm happy to answer any questions you have for your project. Well, as we all know, earthquakes can cause thousands of deaths. The one in Haiti in January 2010 killed over 200,000 people. But the reason so many people died is not the earthquake itself. It's the fact that many buildings collapsed, crushing and trapping people. What interests me and other engineers is how we can build houses in developing countries that don't collapse during strong earthquakes.
That's interesting. Now, has anyone got any questions? Put your hands up.
Yes. Can you tell us? Are there any regulations when you construct buildings in richer countries? I mean, to make the buildings safe from earthquakes?
Yes, there are. Modern concrete buildings are made stronger with steel, But this is expensive, so many poorer countries don't have the money for it. They just can't afford to pay for this. That's why engineers are looking at cheap solutions to protect buildings.
So what sort of things are engineers developing?
Well, one technique is to use more suitable building materials. Let's think about a country like Haiti. Roofs on houses are often made of heavy concrete, and this collapses easily if there is an earthquake. But engineers have discovered that metal roofs supported on wood are stronger.
What other kind of materials are best then?
We need to use materials that are as light as possible, because these are less likely to fall when the ground is shaking. In Pakistan, walls can be made from straw.
Straw? Really?
That's right. The straw is pressed into blocks, and then plastic netting holds the walls together. We put this on the inside of the wall. Of course, the outside of the wall is painted and looks completely normal.
Is it true that some brick walls aren't strong enough if there is an earthquake?
That depends. In Peru, they use a kind of brick which is locally produced and cheap to build walls. But these walls crack and collapse very easily. Again, plastic netting can hold these walls together better so that people can escape when there is an earthquake.
So, Robert, what other local materials do developing countries use?
Well, in India, engineers are using bamboo to make concrete stronger. And in Indonesia, they're trying to protect houses from underneath. They've put old tyres filled with sand under the building and then construct the house on top.
Sorry, but are these cheap and local materials really better in an earthquake?
Generally, yes. Some of them are not as effective as more expensive methods, but they're better than nothing at all, and something that poorer countries can afford.
So, finally, Robert, do you think these new ideas will help protect people in these countries?
Well, I hope so, but so far progress has been slow. Some of these new types of houses have been built, but sadly many millions of people are still in danger.
Well, let's hope that many more houses will be safer in the future. Robert, many thanks for coming to talk to us today.
My pleasure.
Alright, so I guess you heard that and you understand. Alright, so let's look at the first one. So Robert is interested in. So what do you think is the answer? Alright, so let's just check the answer. The answer is C. How to construct buildings that won't fall down. Okay, they are afraid of earthquakes. So they are trying to construct buildings that won't fall down. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Modern building methods. Okay, let's check what is the answer. Okay, the answer is C. Are too expensive for poor countries. Okay, let's look at number 3. Roofs are stronger when they are made from. So let's check the answer. The answer is metal. Alright. Okay, let's look at number 4. Plastic netting is used to. Okay, let's check the answer. Okay, hold walls together. Alright, and then number 5. What are engineers testing in Indonesia? Okay, and the answer is how to protect houses from below the structure. Okay, and number 6. Robert thinks that using cheap or local materials, okay, and the answer is may not produce the best results. Alright.
Listening. Unit
Okay, so let's look at this. What do you like about your house? Okay, so all of us live in different types of houses. Some live in flats, some live in bungalows, some live in terrace houses. Alright, so our previous lesson we actually learned different types of houses. Okay, semi-detached, mansion and all that. So I'm sure in everyone has got like a favorite place in their house. Okay, it could be their bedroom or it could be in their living room. Okay, probably a little corner where they play their online games. Okay, there should be sometimes there's a spot in the house where you love sitting, or a specific sofa. Okay, something that a chair or something that a place that you really like, you're fond of. You just love lying down there and just do nothing at times, right? Okay, so everyone, I'm sure you have places like that in your house. So same, when it comes to me, I too have place like that in my house where I just love sitting and just relaxing. All right. Okay, so it all depends on different people have got different likings. All right. So next, okay, let's look at this. Okay, so can you tell me which part of a house is this? Can you see the roof on top? All right, so this is called the attic. Okay, so this is like above, very close to the roof. So this is called the attic. All right, and this, okay, so it is a kitchen. Okay, or it is the modern kitchen. Okay, so let's look at the next picture. All right, so this one looks like a large park. All right, and then let's look at the next one. Okay, so what is this one? We see a lot of cars there. All right, so this is busy roads. And then let's look at the next one. It's a garage. Okay, next picture. Okay, you can see the beautiful flowers. Okay, it's a garden. All right, let's look at this one. Okay, you can see taxi, you can see bus, and you can also see a train. Okay, so they are good public transport. Okay, next one, a shop. All right, shop can sell anything. All right, and then the next one. Okay, can you see the picture of the globe, right? The earth. Okay, can you see how the earth looks like? The earth is actually wearing a mask. All right, so this is pollution. All right, okay, so next one, central heating. Okay, we don't live in a cold country, so we don't need central heating in our country, right? But it is better to have central heating when you live in a cold country. So when you look at all these pictures here, all right, some things we may not want to have, okay, but the others we would like. All right, for example, like busy roads. Do you think anyone likes busy roads? Okay, when there's like too many cars on the road, and then the traffic jam and all that, so it's actually a nuisance. So no one likes traffic jams. All right, and then when you look at pollution, okay, pollution is something very sad when we see our nature is being spoiled because of the carelessness of people or human beings. All right, I'm sure we like things like good public transport. We like having a modern kitchen. All right, so these are a lot of things that are good things that we like. All right, so let's look at the next one. Okay, we are going to do this exercise. All right, so look at, okay, A we have done just now. Okay, let's look at B. Okay, look at the list of features that a house or neighborhood might have. Decide if they are advantageous or disadvantageous. All right, so the pictures that you saw just now are actually based on this exercise. Remember the attic, okay, modern kitchen, large parks, okay, busy road, garage, garden, good public transport, shops nearby, pollution and central heating. All right, so let's look at this attic. Attic, you think it's an advantage or it's not? Okay, for people who have a very small house, when you don't have place, you can actually build or extend up to your attic, and you can actually convert it into a room or even a storeroom. All right, so this is an advantage. Okay, what about modern kitchen? I'm sure all of us dream to have a beautiful kitchen, right? So this is definitely an advantage. Okay, what about a large park? Okay, let's check. Okay, it has to be an advantage. Okay, what about busy roads? Right? Nobody would like to have busy roads, so this is definitely a disadvantage. Okay, a garage to park your car. Okay, imagine you drive back home and it's like, raining very heavily. So how are you going to walk into your house, when if you don't have an umbrella with you? So if you have a garage which is covered, you can actually bring your car right to the garage and you can walk into your house actually without getting wet. So it's definitely an advantage. Okay, so let's look at number 6, a garden. Alright, so everyone likes to have a garden. So this is an advantage. Okay, good public transport, definitely it is an advantage. And shops nearby is also an advantage. What about pollution? I'm sure people don't like pollution, right? So pollution is a disadvantage. And central heating, all right, of course it doesn't apply to our country, but it is an advantage. All right. All right, so just let's look at these two pictures, A and B. So what do you think about A and what do you think about B? Do you think you would like to have A or you like B? All right, so this goes back to our preferences, right? But then let's look at A and B. They are actually similar. All right, what the facilities or the things or the equipment or whatever that is needed in a room is there in both the rooms, but the only difference is, let's look at how it is kept. Okay, there's so much of difference here. The picture A looks very neat and clean. All right, and then picture B, although you have everything there, but the room looks a little messy. All right, so rightfully, or when I ask you to choose, I'm sure you all are going to choose picture A. Okay, it looks so beautiful, clean, and the room also looks very modern, right? Alright, home is where love resides, memories are created, friends are always welcome, and laughter never ends. There is no place like home. Alright, so please remember, home is different compared to house. House is the building, right? A home can be anywhere. Even if you live in a tent, the tent can be your home. So you should appreciate whatever you have. Alright? Alright, so thank you for joining today's class. Alright, so later I will give you your homework to your class WhatsApp group. Alright, thank you. Bye.